Welcome to Syntax. Today, we're going to be talking about the weird creative corners of the web. There are a ton of these libraries, communities, projects out there that are some of the coolest stuff you will see using web-based code, and we're going to be talking all about different libraries or different areas of cool things that you might be interested in. So, my name is Scott Tolinsky. I'm a developer from Denver. With me, as always, Wes Boss. What's up, Wes?
Hey, I'm stoked about this. So, we were at GitHub Universe a couple weeks ago, and before the keynote they had this DJ Dave. She's a creative coder DJ, and I was like mesmerized by this. We'll show an example in just a second, but I was just like, man, I love these crazy creative corners of the web where there's just like once you told me it's called Strudel. I looked into it. I was like, this is an entire world of people who are just creating things and are being creative. Cool stuff. And I was like, let's go through. I think there's about 7 of them here, and a lot of them are audio, visual, creative corners of the web. And let's react to them. Let's talk about them and how you can build this type of stuff yourself.
Yeah, let's do it. So let's get into the first one, which is Strudel. We saw, as you mentioned, DJ Dave at GitHub Universe. I had very familiar with her work before this. So when I saw her there, I was stoked to really see her perform in person. But she's modifying code, she's writing code live, and it's creating electronic music, it's visualizing MIDI. It is a really cool project, and she's exquisite. So great follow on all the socials if you want to check this out. But man, this is a really cool little project.
What's really cool about this is, if you can't see it, you're listening on audio, is that like the code is just like running, like you code the loops, and then you code all the notes. And I know I'm looking like an idiot here because I actually don't know how music works, but you see like the synth lines and all of the notes being hit. They have little sliders as to where they are, or they're being they have put a rectangle around it, and it's just so mesmerizing to watch. And then like a normal DJ would just like turn knobs or whatever, but she's literally just like commenting code in and out, and unbelievable. It's so mesmerizing to watch. So DJ Dave, she's one of them, and then also Switch Angel seems to be a big one as well. Here's one
with the scope.
Yeah.
Let's make our base.
I love the visuals too. They're doing it in like Jupyter notebooks, right?
Yeah, it's its own thing called like Strudel. And it is JavaScript, except for this like one syntax here, the dollar syntax. I don't know exactly what that is, but it seems a way to like define things.
With a low pass filter of 200 hertz in an envelope.
And it's all very readable, I think. If you've done any music, it's very readable, where you can say, I want like C4, and that's like the 4th C on the keyboard, right? So you have like real, it's not like super esoteric and odd.
Unreal. And I thought that was like just the little sliders and stuff in line with the code. I thought that was a very neat way of a UI for making music.
Yeah, the Strudel REPL is really fun to mess around in.
I'm going to make some sick stuff. So they have strudel.cc is where you can do it, and you can just go ahead and play. Look at me.
You loaded the REPL and hit play. Nice. I love it.
So kind of along the same lines is Hydra, which is a similar project, but for video visualizations. So you get to code a whole bunch of stuff. And you can do layer, mask, scale, mirror. This is more I'm much more of a visual guy.
Wow. This is awesome.
This whole episode, you're going to want to just like stop right now and go ahead. So this is Space Tiger 3000. It seems like he's pretty good at it. And it's just this nice chainable syntax, nesting things inside of each other.
The syntax looks so similar to Strudel.
Yeah.
Wow, Hydra looks cool as hell. I am very interested in this. I actually, people who don't know, my background is in programming music. That's what I did in college. So I did a lot of Max MSP. I did Jitter for video. Some of my first projects were building a lot of stuff like this using Max MSP. So like, dang, this is so exciting for me right now.
Yeah. And so hydra.ojack.xyz is the website, and then you can just load up random ones here, and it will give you the code for it. And this is all using WebGL, and then you let her rip. And I'm assuming you can also hook this up to audio so that these can be programmatically fired off.
You bet you can, yes.
Analysis of the audio.
Dude.
You got Winamp at the end of Winamp at the end of the day.
They got Winamp? Dude, I'm a big Winamp head. Dang. You're officially going to lose me in this episode because I'm going to start really just like playing with all this stuff. Yeah. The next one is P5JS. They actually launched a new beta site recently, beta.p5js.org. And Wes.
Sorry, is it too loud for you?
And P5 is really, really interesting. It is a huge, massive community. It's for working in essentially visual art, working in shapes, working in even like shaders and in transforming, making animations. It is a whole community of making like really awesome stuff. And P5 uses... does it use 3JS? I think it might use 3JS. It's in that same kind of world, but a nicer API. It's in a more friendly API for making art on the web, visual art.
Yeah.
And their little tutorials and examples are really good. You can go through and you can make various different things. But like P5 strands, an introduction to shaders. So using P5 for animation, P5 for shaders. This is another one where you'll go through the demos, interactive stuff, and just be like, wow, this is really pretty readable, really pretty consumable, but at the same time, very powerful for the type of stuff you can do, making all kinds of even like physics-based animations and stuff. It's a neat package and a huge community of people behind this.
When I first started web development, it was all about processing JS, but it seems that people have moved over to this type of thing. So like 3JS would be more like primitives for doing 3D. And then P5 is explicitly for doing things that are a bit more artistic. Not necessarily artistic, because it also is helpful, right? Like I know a lot of data viz people love P5 because it's a great way to make custom data visualizations.
Yeah, performant, all those types of things. And I have found the API to be more consumable than many other things. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried to get into, WebGL or any of that stuff. It is
wild. I've tried to get into it many times.
Shaders and WebGL,
I've been beta testing this shaders.com, which is by Simon. I forget his last name, but he's building like a GUI and an NPM package for building custom shaders, and he's got a whole bunch of things like add noise, add grunge, add gradients, mix blend mode them all together. It's just like, man, people that understand shaders are
which
next
is great
level.
Shaders code is crazy, Wes, because the code, it operates on every pixel at once. So you have to think when you're writing the code, you're not like making a loop to do this pixel, then this pixel, then this pixel. You're writing code that is processing every pixel. At the same time, because it's using your graphics processor to write every pixel at the same time. That is a very paradigm shifting way of thinking. And I've been spending so much time writing shader code using, the GLSL. And dude, like no matter how much I write, sometimes I just get into moments where I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. Like my brain conceptually cannot handle it the right way. I think I just need more time, but it is something I'm very, very interested in.
So let's keep talking about shaders then. ShaderToy is another one that people really like. So I just load this up here and like, what? Look at this code here, you know?
That's what I'm saying.
Every time I look at it.
This code operates on every pixel at once.
Yeah.
So just to even like blow your mind even more, ShaderToy is one of these sites that when I look at it, I get immediate imposter syndrome because I look at this stuff. I know it's this very specialized technique and it's a very specialized understanding of things, but nothing will make me feel insignificant like looking at ShaderToy code and just being like, man, this is beyond. Here, you want to see a cool one, Wes?
Well, look at this one for a sec. Seascape.
Yeah.
This is the world. You can pan around, and it looks like water. And this is, 204 lines of code? What the hell? Where does the water come from?
Where does the water... I think it came from Mars or an asteroid or something. Wes, here, I'm sending you one in Slack right now, or I can send it in here. This one is another one that will blow your mind for its simplicity. This one here is 26 lines of code.
Oh, man, these like loops.
And it's a freaking cool marble. Oh, my God.
Cool marble. Using O instead of C would be +1. Just a bit more formatting for better. So the people are like reading this and being like, I think you can do that. You can do that better.
This is so infuriatingly cool.
Unbelievable. This seems like a really old school website as well. It has like a kicking community.
Is this Lobster?
Yeah. Oh man, Lobster.
We got Lobster alert, folks. And if you want to see all of the errors in your application, you'll want to check out Sentry at sentry.io/syntax. You don't want a production application out there that, well, you have no visibility into in case something is blowing up and you might not even know it. So head on over to sentry.io/syntax. Again, we've been using this tool for a long time and it totally rules. All right.
Next one is something that I stumbled upon on TikTok the other night, and I was like,
yes,
damn it.
I get these served to me all the time. Yes.
So you're Mr. Projection. You want to explain what this is?
Yeah. So, hey, I actually, believe it or not, Wes, in college, one of my courses was projection installation art. That was a class that I took in college. And your whole thing was you had to create an installation with projectors. Now, this type of software did not exist. What this is projection mapping, where you're able to take video, essentially, and project it onto a specific surface. So when you have your projector pointed at something, you can take an image and you can say, this actually only applies to this corner or this face or this face. This actually really became a thing when people were projecting light shows onto buildings and they wanted to have certain things go up into certain places. But with software like this, they're able to do such outrageous things. My projection installation class, Wes, I could just project a single shape. I made a keyboard on the wall that you could run through the notes and it would play notes. And how I did that is I had a projection and I knew what that image was supposed to look like, and then I had a camera pointed at that projection, and then I did a diff. If you're standing and breaking enough of this note, then it will play a note on MIDI. And if you're breaking enough of this note by doing a diff between those two images. So like video projection installation stuff has gotten crazy. MadMapper allows you to, again, take a surface in 3D or a photo, whatever, and you are taking your video and putting it on places. You combine this with something like Hydra or something, you're going to be crazy town doing some cool stuff. You know who does this kind of stuff? Is Cassie Evans. She mentioned that they set up some like devices in their living room and just like project and make art and music in their living room or something.
That's wild. It's so cool. So like you basically turn your projector on and then you create different like screens, and then you just drag them around so that the corners line up with things like your cabinet or like the windows. Like you could also do this for like Christmas lights as well. You could just project onto your house and then you can specify what cool. Each of the windows are. So cool. I want to do that so bad. Yes, I want to do that as well. Kind of in a similar vein as well as this thing called Touch Designer. This is a piece of software where you can do, I don't know, input, output. Basically, you're just taking data in, whether that's video or sound or whatever, and then you are just, based on that, you are changing it, right? You in the example I'm showing right now is The guy's made an ASCII version from the video of himself, but it knows no bounds as to what you could possibly do with it. So a lot of like interactive installations are based on this, like the input could be sound, it could be people touching buttons, it could be, I think I have an example here, which is this one's using Xbox Kinect as an input and a video. So and then you apply different shaders on top of that. The Xbox Kinect is so cool. And then this is another neat one where it's obviously using some sort of 3D camera because it knows depth. And then based on the depth, it's changing the density of the pixels.
Gosh, people are so cool.
Yeah. This makes me want to go. Like, we used to have this thing in Toronto, what we still do. It's called Nuit Blanche, and it's just an entire evening. You stay up all night, and you go to just these random installations in, like churches and random buildings, and then people are just doing weird stuff like this.
I think I've sent myself into some kind of drug-induced coma here with this Hydra. I've like made this kaleidoscope
you still
thing.
Have the tab open from the one 5 years ago.
It is like completely transfixed my brain. I actually, Wes, I've been working on a fun little project, and there were some like audio tones playing in my ears and stuff while I was doing this, and it sent me into another universe. I felt like I was on another planet. I had to stop working on it. I was like, I feel like this is hypnotizing me or something. I don't know what's going on.
Kaleidoscope, color, colorama, rotate, modulate, rotate. Man. And then usually what I do with these things is I just start changing values.
Yeah, I'll show you the one I made just by changing values.
They look cool.
Into Riverside Chat.
Wait, you just made this while we were talking?
It was based on another one, but I've modified it enough. Yes.
Oh, I see. Whoa.
So I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just updating values. And now I'm just like, whoa. Oh,
that's so cool.
Yeah.
All right, last one. And this is something that I'm starting to get into. It's called xLights. xLights is a piece of desktop software where basically you cover your entire house in Christmas lights. And then xLights, you take all of the inputs for each of those lights. And in my case, I'm covering my house in addressable LEDs. So every single LED can be turned on or off, brightness, whatever color you want at any given time. And then what xLights does is you can map them in a 3D space, and then you can create these like wipes of your entire house. You can do it to music. You can do shows. You can buy shows. And it's just this wild, wild world. Like, once I got into it, I joined a couple Facebook groups where these guys are doing stuff. And it's just like all year long, they're just like working on their Christmas light show. There's music to it as well. Hear me?
Yes. Oh, yes.
This is so obnoxious, but so cool. Look at the wipes. Like, the whole house is being wiped.
Yeah, man, I don't even put lights up, which is shocking that I don't. I don't know why I don't put up lights. I think it's just so much of an effort for me.
It's a pain in the butt. So I'm doing the permanent ones this year right now, where I'm installing them like in the soffit in like aluminum track, and then I'm working on window frames for all the windows. I'm gonna put them around the garage. I'll see how far I get this year because it's quite a bit of work. But then once you have them, you can do. Like, I went to a light show last year, and I left that being like, I'm doing this. This is probably not the music. I think the neighbors would hate me. Mostly just
the
like
music,
nice warm white.
Or you could do it for like a moment and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Take a video of it and then be like, all right.
Yeah. Oh, like some of these guys have like FM, AM transmitters, so they'll be like, turn your radio to this station, and it'll play the music over your car. That is cool. So that's xLights. You can check out this desktop software. Seems relatively easy. With a lot of the stuff, when I look into it, the xLights is mostly like an enthusiast area, and like a lot of people are not technical, so they have a lot of trouble doing it. But then I jump into it, and I'm like, man, I'm fairly technical. I understand this stuff. I bet I can make something sick. Hook it up to that. What's the one that you really like? Hydra.
I'm going to hook up Hydra to Strudel, and I'm going to turn off all the lights in my office and then hook up my projector. And then I'm just going to veg out here. It's going to be great.
Oh, that's one we didn't even do, is like the people that do the laser light shows as well.
Laser light shows. That's
crazy
man.
World. You're going to lose an eye.
Yeah, freaking lasers. Yeah.
But that is the world of cool, creative, and weird on the internet. Let us know down below in the comments if we missed anything, because I would love to dip into a few more of these. And poor Scott is going to have no more time this week after he starts building things.
I actually, Wes, we're working on a fun little video here. I'm definitely going to hook Hydra up to my video now.
That's a great idea.
It's going to work so well. Folks, I'm working on something that is very fun. So just a little teaser there. So yeah, let's get into the part of the show where we talk about sick picks and shameless plugs. Stuff that we pick is stuff that we like, stuff that we think is sick, stuff that we're just generally enjoying in life right now. I have a sick pick for you, Wes, and it's a podcast app called Newcast, and it's a minimal style podcast app. And I love the minimal UI for this. I think it's really nice. It is not as full featured as something like Pocket Cast, I will be honest, but it does most of the things that I wanted to do. I've been noticing Pocket Cast has been like being very odd for me lately. Like, it's downloading podcasts but not putting them on my up next playlist and stuff. So I've just been getting a little annoyed with it. And this one is just minimal enough that it's not like unusable, but at the same time, I really do like this app. So Newcast is a really nice and minimal podcast app. I cannot get down with Apple Podcasts. I can't get down with any of these over-bloated, overcast type of apps. And I certainly, as much as I do love Spotify and I use Spotify for music, I just can't commit to using it for podcasts. I just can't.
Newcast. Cool. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, it's nice and pretty.
I am going to sick pick a tiny little switch that I just added to my server rack. So I have like a whole Unify setup, and there's only one 10 gigabit out port that I can do, and I've got 3 gigabit internet, so I wanted to make use of that, so I piped it right to my desk, and that's the one thing in my house that can get. It actually only gives me 2.5 gig because that's what my dock does. But I recently added a USB to Ethernet to my NAS, my Synology NAS. Somebody told me on Twitter, they said, hey, you can, instead of having to fuss with the 2 Ethernet ports, which are 1 gig on your NAS, you can just, for like $20, you can get like a USB NIC for your Synology, and you can install the drivers. And now I think I got a 10 gig one or 5 gig, but basically I have that throughput from my desk to my NAS now. However, I didn't have enough ports that did it. All the other ports on my routers are 1 gig. So I bought this little $30 switch it's called Nick Giga, which is a crazy name, but is
I was a little concerned for you, yes.
Yeah, I had to very equally pronounce that. It has 2 10 gigabit SPF ports, and then 4 2.5 gig just regular RJ45s.
For $33 too for US prices. Why is it so cheap?
For $33 US.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And it worked great. I downloaded a Linux distribution yesterday, and it was like 4 gigs, and it downloaded in like 22 seconds or something like that. It was nuts how fast it went. And I was like, man, I am not used to having these speeds on my NAS. And then also just like transferring my video files over, it's 2.5 times faster. And for between that little USB thing and the little switch, I was $50 in, and it was well worth it.
What is the USB thing you got again?
All right, so there is. Let me find it right now. One second.
Yes, because when you told me I had to install like custom firmware for this thing, I got a little concerned. But I really should get on this now that I have a Wi-Fi 7 router and everything. For those who are wondering why I said that, my router has 10.
You got 10 gigabit. Yeah, I have 10 gigabit out, but then the rest of my router is just, I don't have all of those ports. And mostly it doesn't matter because no devices in my house actually need that.
Yes, but transferring between
your NAS does.
My NAS, yeah.
So here's the USB thing. This is a U green, and it doesn't matter that it's U green. It just, you need to make sure that it has a Realtek chip in it. And then what you do is you go to the Synology store, and there's like a Git repo with the drivers, and you just install it via the GUI.
Oh, via the
and then
GUI. Okay.
I did had a SSH in and run one command once, and then it started working immediately.
Okay. I don't mind that. I'm SSHing into my NAS all the time. I was thinking I had to get like crazy with it. So if I'm gonna get crazy with it, oh yeah, baby.
And then it just shows up in the like Ethernet devices, and then just like a Mac, you go into set source order, and then I set the 2.5 gig one to be the first, and then it uses that one from there on. And I also put some. We should do a whole Synology show, because like I recently upgraded the SSDs, the read and write caches, and man, did that make my apps faster.
I got that too.
All the stuff running on it got way faster. Not transferring didn't really get faster, but the actual apps, like just like thumbnails that were loading from the apps, were way faster.
My SSD or my Synology has been dog slow lately, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's like full. I actually just filled it up completely. It's 20 terabytes and it's full now. So I'm like having to go into nuclear mode and deleting a bunch of old raw footage from my, like I have raw footage going back from 2012 on Level Up tutorials.
Oh yeah.
So like I got to delete so much of that stuff, but still it's like, is that why it's so slow? I don't have enough open space available. I don't know why it's so slow.
Probably not. But maybe you got to look at your resource monitor and see what's hogging everything. For me, I was running Coolify on there as a VM, or no, I was running Coolify as a Docker image, and it was just too much for the poor little Synology NAS to handle. It was taking too much memory. You're supposed to run those on proper servers.
I've moved all that stuff to Mac Mini. That's what I moved it. Yeah.
Home server. That's what I was doing. I was like, should I just build a home server? I've got this. I have a Mac Pro here. I've got like a couple decent older MacBook Pros. Do I just run those instead?
Yeah, mine's right here. I'm running Minecraft on there. I'm running Plex. I'm running all my stuff. Yeah.
Maybe that's the move. But everything else is super fast right now, except that I'm not running. I am running a lot of home server stuff, right? And then I'm running a Cloudflare tunnel on there all the time. We'll do a whole show. On home servers, because there's some fun stuff to talk about.
Yes, word.
Cool. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you later. Peace.